back your
Way that I
bags.
look should be breaking.
Oh, mijn computer heeft het er heel zwaar mee. Terwijl ik nog niet eens iets echt interessants aan het doen ben. Hey Juri. Oh, Max, zou jij mijn mic even uit mijn computer kunnen trekken? Want hij pakt nu niet de mic van mijn PR-set, volgens mij.
Hallo.
Hallo.
Mijn mic stond uit.
Kan je mij horen?
Ja, ik hoor je.
Oké, nou dat is top. Ik heb een nutje gedaan. Oké, nou als je mij hoort dan laat dat maar. Ik probeer een beetje op te ruimen hoor, maar die Sparkle Steed die ik elke keer probeer te verwijderen, die komt elke keer weer terug. Begint een beetje...
Oh mijn god, er is echt veel shit hier.
Ja, inderdaad. Ik probeer een beetje...
Ja, ik dacht dat het niet gesaved was van die sessie.
Ja, dacht ik ook. Maar, hey, here we are.
Hallo.
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 Was de professionalisering sessie?
Was wel leuk. Was een gast die zeg maar ging vertellen over problemen die je hebt met klanten en hoe je daar als jong professional, wanneer mensen toch niet echt naar je willen luisteren, hoe je daar dan mee omgaat, zeg maar.
En daar ging het kunnen luisteren.
Oké, ja, het was wel interessant hoor, want dat was ook, we gingen dan van elk groepje gingen we zeg maar een probleem behandelen. En sommige mensen inderdaad hadden best wel dat hun klant niet meewerkte of dat de klant dacht dat ze het beter wisten en zo. En hoe je daar dan als student dan toch een soort van tegenin gaat en hoe je dat toch op een nette manier kan doen. Het was wel interessant.
Ja, vond ik wel leuk. Hij wist echt heel veel. Pepijn, die
heeft nu dat interview voor zijn etnografisch onderzoek. Dus die komt niet.
Oh ja, dat zei hij gisteren. Ja, ja logisch. Hoe werkt een pijlen? Hallo.
Shoot the bird.
What happened?
Wat?
Ik ben niet meer ik.
Wat?
What the fuck? Is het target een avatar?
Wat is dit?
Dat is wel cool. Dan kan je letterlijk op mensen schieten.
En hoe deed je dat?
Weet ik niet. Ik snap niet hoe de boog werkt. En
Zijn we er allemaal
ineens
trouwens?
iemand anders. Maar ik weet niet wat ik weet.
Randy staat daar. Zit nu nog aan het laden.
Ik weet niet of John er ook bij is.
John moest volgens mij naar zijn universiteit voor iets.
Oké, dan zijn we...
Dan is dit het toch?
ding erachter.
Ja, dan zijn we tot 5.
Ja, dat klopt het.
Oh.
Kunnen jullie mij horen?
Zeker.
Hoe werkt
Robin?
de boog?
Hit de roos.
Ik weet niet eens hoe ik moet schieten.
Je pijl moet je loslaten op je boog. Dus je moet hem tegen je boog aan en dan laat je hem los. En dan nokt hij en dan kan je het touwtje
Dat is heel
vastpakken.
naar, Joris.
Dat is naar.
Om voor Robin nu het doel te raken.
Dit is de challenge mode.
Ja, Bokka difficulty heeft gezet.
Oh, dat is knap.
Holy shit! He's a god. Did it. Ik had hem op super easy gezet, zoals je kan zien.
Ja, sowieso.
Jongens, ik wou het eigenlijk even hebben met iedereen over wat mensen nou imputeren als de opdracht. Zeg maar. Zodat we hoeven inderdaad niet, wat jij zei inderdaad Robin in de chat, we hoeven daar niet allemaal op één lijn te zitten. Maar ik ben wel nieuwsgierig wat iedereen ziet als wat we hier nou eigenlijk aan het doen zijn.
Oké, ja. Het rondje gewoon afgaan.
Ja, sure.
Hey,
Hey, Medra. Oh, we were actually having a teammate meeting at the moment.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'll just.
Sure, thanks. Oké, dus weet je wat ik als opdracht zie? Ik zie wel inderdaad dat we nu lekker aan het experimenteren zijn en bekend aan het raken met NEOS. Maar ik heb wel nog steeds in mijn hoofd een beetje wat daar op die slide staat nog steeds. Dat we uiteindelijk wel iets gaan maken daadwerkelijk waarin echt en realiteit zeg maar samenkomen. En dat hoeft niet één iets te zijn, dat kunnen ook meerdere dingen zijn. Met meerdere soorten omgevingen, zeg maar. Maar ik heb wel in mijn hoofd dat we uiteindelijk wel ergens naartoe werken, zeg maar.
Ja. Ik denk ook eerlijk gezegd dat het een hele goede inspiratie is.
Oké.
Ja,
Ik heb grotendeels hetzelfde. Ik heb zelf wel, ik merk dat deze week iets meer dan daarvoor, dat ik toch wel moeite heb met dat constante experimenteren en eigenlijk niet echt doen. Dat ik gewoon NEOS niet echt zie als een platform voor mij om diep in te ontwikkelen. En ik weet niet of dat zo gaat worden in samenwerking. Samenwerken vind ik namelijk heel erg fijn, maar zodra ik in mijn eentje zit, denk ik van waarom doe ik dit eigenlijk?
Ja.
Dus daarom is opdrachtmatig werken, gewoon naar resultaatmatig werken, vind ik ook wel, dat heb ik ook in mijn hoofd. Gewoon inderdaad wel dat echt iets groots gaan doen. En dat mogen we nog steeds wel onderzoeken natuurlijk, maar ik vind het wel fijn. En ik denk toch, omdat ik het extern doe, en dat wil ik ook behouden, dat ik inderdaad, wat meer dan zegt, de digitale wereld en de fysieke wereld combineren, dat ik dan heel erg de fysieke kant ga plannen en uitwerken en echt als theaterregisseur erin wil stappen.
Ja.
Dat is hoe ik het voor mij zie. En daarin wel gewoon natuurlijk samenwerken met jullie en juist kijken wat er gebeurt.
Ja.
Cool.
Oké, doen we het rondje nou zo dan? Of
Ja, jij bent aan de beurt.
Oké, prima, dan ben ik. Ik zie het project ook als eigenlijk samen, om het zo te zeggen, gewoon heel veel kloten. Maar wel met, zeg maar, een beetje een plan. Ik dan als kleine projecten / prototypes maken. Die we dan, ja, zoals Robin al zei, per week A2 maken. Dat we dan uiteindelijk, maar dat ik nieuwe Joris erin staat, eentje of meerdere daarvan ook echt daadwerkelijk uitwerken tot die beter presenteerbaars. Het is gewoon met, zeg maar, heel veel prototypes maken, heel veel shit kloten, testen. En uiteindelijk iets hebben, zeg maar, wat uit tests komt.
Ja, een soort mag een showcase zijn dan van meerdere dingen,
Ja.
of juist van één groot iets. Ja.
Dat is het een beetje.
Randy is weg.
Andy,
Sean is er wel.
Oh, Sean is er wel.
Ik zie een bacon man staan.
Oh ja, Baconman. Komt zo.
Oké, waar had het over? Nee, grapje.
Over... Oh my god. Ik ga er nog serieus op in ook. Oké, ik ga door.
Hallo, ik ben Randy. Ja. Nee, in principe dit project, het is voor mij, ik snap wat Joris wilt, of althans, ik denk dat ik het snap. Voor mijzelf, hoe ik het meer zie is, we moeten iets doen en het lichaam, zeg maar, in NEOS, en dat moeten we combineren met zeg maar, de realiteit waar het lichaam in centraal staat, ja, en dan een ervaring, of iets, like, de gebruiker moet iets ervaren, waarbij wij die twee dingen dus eigenlijk mixen, want het is de naam van het project, Mixed Reality. En wat ik daar persoonlijk uit wil halen, is het kijken naar hoe wij daar nog voor gebruikers keuzes aan kunnen toevoegen. Ja, en ik weet dat ik deze discussie een paar weken geleden met Robin had. En ja, ik ga ze gebruikers noemen. En niet, het is misschien heel theatraal, maar voor mij zijn het nog steeds gebruikers. Je kan deze ervaring gebruiken. Ja, je ervaart het op het moment zelf misschien niet per se zo, maar voor mij zie ik ze wel meer als gebruikers. Omdat ik ze toch wel iets wil laten gebruiken in of NEOS of in de echte wereld. En daarnaast wil ik voor mezelf heel erg te kijken. Ga ik nog kijken? Ik kan niet zeggen dat ik het al gedaan heb. Dan ga ik nog heel erg kijken, zeg maar, hoe ik mijn eigen achtergrond in film daarin kan toevoegen. Like, meer dan jij en ik hebben laatst zitten quoten natuurlijk met die camera's.
Ja.
Voor streamen. En dat vond ik persoonlijk eigenlijk een van de meest interessante dingen die ik tot nu toe in nieuws heb gedaan.
En zie jij het dan ook als dat we gewoon losse experimenten gaan doen? Of dat we iets groots gaan maken? Of dat we ergens naartoe werken?
Dat laat ik helemaal over aan jullie.
Ja, maar ik ben juist nieuwsgierig naar hoe jij het ziet. Of wat jij...
Mij maakt het er geen reet uit als wij samen beslissen, we gaan iets groots maken. I'm down. Als we besluiten, we gaan nog kleine experimentjes doen. I'm down.
Oké.
Hij staat achter John.
Oh ja.
Joris staat daar.
Oh ja. Laten we dan nog even met onze Joris doorgaan. En dan snapt de andere Joris vast ook al dat we even in een meeting zitten.
Ja, ik dacht al, ik sta achter John en man. Ja, zelf interpreteerde ik het als...
Ik weet niet of hij iets zegt, maar ik hoor niks.
Ik zeg wel wat.
Andere Joris.
Oh nee,
Joris.
hoi.
Hi.
Ik wil het even niet storen nog.
Hey, we maken hem even af.
Ja, precies, maak hem af.
Ik interpreteerde het als een ervaring of meerdere neerzetten. Zelf dacht ik wel meerdere, maar we hebben uiteindelijk besluiten om te focussen op één, dan vind ik dat ook prima. Maar wel een ervaring waarbij wij mikken op de toast-eters. Ik noem het even toast-eters in plaats van gebruikers, because I don't give a shit hoe we het noemen. De gebruikers. En dat ze wel iets meenemen uit de ervaring en niet denken, ja, leuk. Dus ik wil mezelf ook focussen op hoe ze interacteren met ervaring. Ik wil zelf,
Hey,
en ik dus
hi. How's it going?
mezelf uiteindelijk ook gaan groeien.
Good. Hey, they're just finishing up.
Anders whisper mode.
So we can
Nee, gebruik whisper man.
Gezellig.
Bij John staan.
Oh, we gelukkig zo hard ook.
Heel knus dit.
Ga door.
Maar wat
In plaats van dat hun dat gaan wij het
Misschien,
oké, ga
ja,
door.
fuck it. We moeten ons aanpassen.
Ik hoor ze nog steeds.
Ja, ik ook.
Ja.
Kom dichterbij. Ja, ik maak even mijn verhaaltje af.
Ja.
Ik wil me eigenlijk ook gaan oriënteren als mechanics designer. Dus wil ik daar ook op focussen. Op hoe Jesus atleet is. Hoe mensen
Gezellig.
Ja.
Ja, dat dus. Maar wat ik ook even erbij wil melden, is wat ik merkte deze afgelopen paar weken, is dat ik echt heel snel misselijk word in VR. Dus je moet daar even een oplossing op vinden hoe ik dat in mijn workflow oplos.
Sta of zit je als je werkt in VR?
Zeg je?
Sta of zit je?
Ik wissel van afstand.
Oké.
Ja, want ik denk dat je zit het minder snel misselijk zal worden.
Ja.
Nou, dat
Over het algemeen.
uit testen heb ik gemerkt dat het echt geen verschil maakt, jammer genoeg.
Oh, oké, dat is jammer.
Ja, maar ik probeer er wel mee te dealen.
Misschien online wat tips opzoeken.
Ik zit in een paddenstoel.
Hier zijn er oefeningen voor of zo.
Even een batterij veranderen.
Oké, de kwiekde is een beetje ver te zoeken, maar John, jij moet zo.
Oh ja,
Hoe interpreteer jij de opdracht?
Groter, van
ja, vrij, ja, ik weet niet. Ik mis ook nog wel een beetje een richting om in te werken. Maar op zich, in eerste instantie gewoon een hoop, of het nou één groot ding is of meerdere kleine dingen. Ik denk dat we gewoon kleine dingen doen totdat we zeg maar iets groots kunnen verzinnen.
Ah, ja.
Of zoiets. Want ja, om nou nu al iets groots te plannen is ook wel een beetje overdreven, aangezien we überhaupt nog niet weten wat we willen doen.
We zitten nu denk ik nog even in een soort van experimenteerfase. Maar we moeten wel op een gegeven moment zeggen, oké, nu is dat klaar, nu gaan we iets groots maken, denk ik. Maar ja, als anderen inderdaad zitten van, joh, ik wil gewoon heel veel kleine dingetjes blijven doen, dan is dat ook goed. Maar ik denk wel dat het slim is om daar door het proces heen wel met elkaar over te blijven praten.
Ja.
Want dan weten we tenminste dat we allemaal een beetje op dezelfde richting opgaan.
Ik weet niet waar die planning staat, maar ik geloof dat er op de planning ook echt stond dat deze eerste 2-3 weken echt bedoeld waren om te verkennen, te ontdekken en zo, en te experimenteren.
Zitten we niet al in week 5 of zo?
Dat zal vast.
Ja, we zitten volgens mij al best wel ver, toch?
Ja, maar ik ben een halve week ziek geweest, oké? Ik hou de tijd niet meer bij.
Nee, oké. Nou ja, ik denk zo voor even voor teammeeting heel cozy.
Morgen kunnen we het goed doen nog.
Ja.
In VR is dit wel echt heel erg awkward inderdaad, zo heel dicht op elkaar staan.
Ja, man, nee. Lekker gezellig.
Ja, we zijn klaar.
Heel goed. Hou er rekening mee. If you want to do a private session, you all have to, in a way, be in private mode. Because some of you I could still hear answering, and others I couldn't.
Oh.
So just, if you want to be sure that you say horrible things about your teachers, just make sure you're all in whisper mode.
Oké.
Hey, Stefan.
Hey.
Hallo.
Hallo.
So, I invited Medra again, and he was so kind to be with us today, at least for an hour, to do some general world hopping. But of course, the worlds and the examples are endless, so I certainly hope you, in your own time, manage to sort of use the world browser and world hop. There's a bit of an echo for some reason.
It's going to me again.
And so I just want to, of course, make sure that we did visit a few worlds that Medra and I thought were interesting starting points for discussion. So they're not necessarily the best off, because of course that's very subjective to begin with. But it's just a good starting point for us to have conversations about how we can look at these worlds and how they facilitate some research questions that you are still in the process of formulating for yourself. So I thought that would be a good way to sort of go about it. In the second half, we'll hopefully visit my own world, or at least a world that I made to sort of showcase or make an exhibition out of a 36Q project that I did in Prague. Because that would also be a nice incentive to talk about how are you going to document and present your research process in a space. And also, I think this whole thing can take as long as it takes. So my first question to you would be, how much time does everybody have? So what from now on, when do you need to leave? That would be the first practical question.
Well, for me, it's until I get dinner. That's about 7.
Well, I wasn't planning on doing this whole thing until 7. But is everybody comfortable that we take about 2 hours for the whole thing? So 1 hour for some world hopping, and then maybe 1 hour discussing my space and also talking about archiving and research, yeah? Would that be okay for everybody? Okay? Yeah. Great. Fantastic. Stefan, for you as well, you can stay for that amount of time, or you're going to need to leave earlier? You have an hour. Okay, so you will be here for the first part. Great. I also asked Medra to sort of formulate a few research questions that he has himself, because Medra is not only a facilitator of just fantastic projects within NEOS, but he's also a designer and researcher himself. So for that reason, I asked him to already formulate maybe a few questions, and he just showed me his list, and his list is consisting of at least 30 questions, which are a bit much to begin with. But I think it's nice to start with a question, because then the world hopping is not just about being in the world and say, oh, this is cool, I like it, I don't like it. Because honestly, I'm not that interested in our personal preferences in what we like and don't like. It's much more about looking at these worlds as inspiration for questions that we have as professionals. So Medra, if you want, and of course it's a dialogue and it's super informal, but if you want, you can maybe introduce some of the talk we had already a little bit before, and then we can decide where to go first.
Sure. We were discussing before kind of what to talk about and what to say and what I do. And so I would say right now the 3 major projects that are a big part of my life is one is Creator Jam that you already heard about, and which is kind of almost like a classroom mixed with a collaborative art building process. And then from there, that's kind of build teams, have people learn skills, and explore. Personally, the first project that I worked on was with a contest much like the MC that we're now sponsoring last year, which is called Wake Up. And Wake Up was meant to be a demo that could be something more, and that for me it was about seeing what I could construct inside here and what was possible, and at the same time trying to have more theatric and film-like experience. And to me what that means is it means having different sections, even like a set like this is, and playing with our perception of how it can change, how we can move from scene to scene, not necessarily like in film you have it cut to cut. In theater, it's in different ways, and in games, other ways as well. And how would that be able to translate in VR itself? And so I figured, just like when we're world hopping and when you're switching worlds, you notice that the environment changes in between quite a bit. So I wanted to play around with that idea, and also the idea of the body and senses, and how can you translate those in certain ways. And then now with current project, it's translation of Nosferatu. So we've had a silent film version. There's been a color film, and so I figured this would be a very accessible thing for the public, and there's still a lot to explore within that narrative. And so how can I best show narrative inside a VR art form that is burgeoning? And so the goal is to try and build a grammar for that, to kind of know that these type of techniques seem to be more successful than others. And so it's really just a major exploration in all of that.
Yeah, and I think what is nice is that Medra, as some of you in the group is very interested in how to translate in a way story telling and story experiences in the tradition of film and how to then translate that into a medium like VR, where of course you have both theater becoming relevant because it's live and it can be interactive and it's actually very physical, and then of course game design becomes very apparent because you're dealing not only with the technologies that are used in game design, but you also need to think about interaction and how to direct the gaze of people and how to have environments in a way steer behavior. So these things we very briefly touched upon yesterday, but clearly are a bit of a larger frame that we want to use also for world hopping today. And I think it's maybe nice to focus especially on this notion of time, because in film, clearly you can record time and then cut it up and make it non-linear and do all sorts of tricks with playing with time. So I think it's nice to think about these worlds that we're now in. They're all basically only exist in the now. And so then the question is, how could we actually play with time in a spatial sense? Taking into account also, of course, that we're all having like a first-person perspective. So my sense of the space and time is a different perspective than yours and yours, etc. So these are more like general frames that we can use to also visit the worlds, but also talk about these things a little bit more. Should we do you mentioned already the dream? I forgot the title. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Wake up.
The Wake Up, yes, or not the dream, the Wake Up, actually. Go there first. Would that be a good thing to do?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Just note, at the time in NEOS, when this was being made, there was almost no probable prime tutorials, and everything was a lot slower. Like, there's no way we could be in a room like this together. So there's a lot
should
of
we
crazy...
also change to like low poly avatars? Would that be smart to do?
No. We're all fine right here in this. I should be good as well.
Okay. All right.
And this version of the experience has been modified so that there's multiple users. It was meant to be a one-person experience because a lot of worlds are done up with the idea of multiple players in mind, and I thought it would be much more mindful if you had only yourself to think. So. All right,
and before we go in, very important instruction. If you're in the world, it's going to be dark, and there's this big floating red button. And I'm not joking. I'm honestly asking you to not click on anything, because first we need to explain something, right? So this is not a double meaning point. It's a literal request. Yeah, no, it's not.
No,
Robin, it's not.
It
So please don't, because we really spoil then the whole thing. So you host it. Can join in.
Yes. Let me make sure I'm not invisible.
Please wait till Nedra disappears, because then he's in the world, and then we can join his session.
And
are you all in VR, by the way, right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nee.
Okay, so there's still people doing desktop.
Yeah. I emailed Lotte again about the VR headsets, but I haven't had a response yet.
Yeah, Lotte is currently not doing very well, so I think you need to negotiate with Stefan on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
are you still missing a headset?
Yeah,
Or
three headsets.
3 headsets? Alright.
All right. Is everybody in? No, we're still waiting for a few people.
make sure not even with your lasers.
Can you all talk? I mean, does the sound work
Yeah,
for everybody? Oh, okay. You're so quiet. It's like put the light off and you immediately fall to sleep. It's like, with a parrot in the cage, you just throw a blanket over and they come quiet. So, I think I have an echo again, Stefan, I think.
Oh, I'll move away from you.
So I think it's really nice. I mean, I don't know if you're now. How are you now orienting in the space? What is it that you look at?
Names.
Yeah, the floating names.
And the button, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking straight at the wake up button.
Okay, so you're looking at you're already looking at the button. That's great, but
Yeah,
it's
me too.
interesting that we're now just floating names in a black space, right? So I think it's interesting that space doesn't always have to be a representative space that we understand as a building or a landscape. But of course, to start with a black space, where already like our names are giving a sense of location and nearness. Yuri, to me, apparently is very large, and Stefan is sitting on the floor.
Yeah,
so
I feel
this
very
is it's very this is interesting. Also, imagine now if we would not have our name tags. Matter, is that actually doable really fast, or Matter is not responding? Oh, that's
He's already
interesting.
You
working
can't hear
on
me.
it.
Whoops, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
that adds for effect, doesn't it?
Is it possible to
There we
put
are,
our
let's see.
name tags off like really quick?
I have
Oh,
to
Matter
change it to a different body.
suddenly has hands, right?
Yeah,
That's
this is
also
a special
interesting.
edit mode I have inside here, so I can mess around.
Just if it's
Probably
too,
not.
if it-
Probably not too easily
we'll leave
immediately.
it for
But
now. We
next
can
time,
imagine.
yes, that's
So
what I'm going to
imagine
change,
if
actually.
imagine if we're not seeing these names, then if you don't talk, I'm not sure where you are, right? So then sound suddenly becomes very important in knowing where people are and how large the space maybe is. So these are thoughts to take into account when we start making spaces. So Medra, what is the next step?
Okay, so I think it's more fun if I don't touch the very enticing area. So what would you think to do next? So
Only one
feel
of
free.
you.
Yeah,
Only one of
person.
you. Yeah. So Mirna, you were already looking at
Okay.
it. So why don't you do it?
So Mirna will be the only person that's different. So let Mirna do everything on this part.
Okay.
He's a transparent character.
So remember that this would be from a first person perspective. So everything that you wouldn't have seen your name tag as a one person.
Yeah. But I like the floating names actually. It's quite
I'm a bit
nice.
terrified.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's so
scary.
dark.
Ah.
Oh, I can see myself in the mirror. I'm like
Yes,
a woman.
you are.
That's such a smart trick that actually scared me.
And we are floating eyeballs, in case you haven't.
Oh yeah.
The frame had just died for a second.
Robin has already found the books, and you can put the television on and off. Yes, indeed.
Those of you that are floating are the people floating in desktop mode. Is that? Yeah, if you're in seated mode, it'll be more difficult to
Okay.
maneuver.
Then I'll
Who
get
put the
that.
light off?
I did.
Good. Alright, well.
I'm not explaining much right now because I think it's more fun to be explorative.
No, I agree.
Ah. I just switched
Did I
the
do
lock.
That's
I
supposed to be
think
blood.
John did something.
Yeah, I think I switched the light button.
Ah. Sneaky, sneaky.
Oh, what?
Hey, there's a sign. Oh, here. Oh, that's a. Oh, I thought it was a clue. It's the base.
I hear boiling blood.
Yes.
Hey, mine is that.
Okay, let's I think that's for now most of the. So there you go. Maybe have some light together. Do you want to stay in the blood room, or we want to turn back to the?
To the little bit more nice.
It's up to you. Up to you.
Yeah, either way, blood room, or we can.
So my question to you would be: so what is it you observe in this progression? Yeah, that's what you got. Yours, maybe you can just put off the radio again for me,
Actually,
please.
turn it off. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
One more. I got it.
There you go. So what are your observations just in this little progression from worlds and also this space?
I thought it was really effective to have like a black space and then have something in the distance what you're like walking towards. That really also built like suspension for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Hey, Pepijn, you're here.
Can't hear him.
I thought you were dealing with. I thought you were dealing with game designers, but
Yeah, well, they haven't responded to anything I sent them. So
That's really annoying.
I'm kind of waiting on their response, and then I'll probably join them if they ever respond.
But great,
So I'll
great
stay
that
here.
you now joined in. So great. Yeah. What else? So Mirna said a very important thing. So she liked this build-up of suspense, and also this idea that you start in a black space and then see something afar. So it attracts us to go somewhere. What else?
Maybe the audio?
Yeah, the audio, yeah.
I think it's really important with creating certain modes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I also feel like this ghost-like perspective is really because I'm constantly looking at Mirna, and she has a body, and I'm nothing. But I don't feel like nothing. I feel really big and impactful, even more probably than her, because I'm doing all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
But I'm just looking at other people, and I just know that I'm one of them, and that I'm basically nothing.
Yeah. Well, we're not nothing. We're floating eyeballs with names, so we're definitely something. Yeah. But we also have secret powers in the sense that we can actually manipulate the room, and that has an effect for everybody. So that's a huge thing. Yeah. So to how you are present in the room can be both by actually being an avatar, but it's also what you do in the space, of course, that makes your presence known. Yeah. What else?
Well, the first time I also really got scared by the avatar I saw in the mirror because you don't recognize it as yourself at the first moment. And then you move and then you're like, oh, wait, that's me. And the first time I saw it, I was like, oh shit, there's someone there. But yeah, that also had like a really interesting effect. And you're getting sort of put in a sort of role.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's not you.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think an important part to note about it is that she started as one of us. We were all the same thing when we started, but then she made the decision, well, we all made the decision, but she turned into something else. And now...
Absolutely, yes. And that is also, it was decided, it was known by everybody that was a shift where she stepped into the role. Yeah, very important. Yeah, very good.
To add to that, because it was our decision, I feel like I'm a part of her as well, even though I'm clearly still something else.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yuri, Randy, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm more interested. Like, I thought the experience really interesting, but the thing that caught my eye was the transition between. The three scenes. You go from black to seeing only one thing to having an entire room to explore.
Yeah.
And what drives me is more like, what is this room trying to tell us? Like, what is the reason that it's like? But look at it. We're probably somewhere in like I'm really terrible at guessing time periods, but somewhere around the war, probably. That's what this room looks like to me. And then when the room turned to blood, like I got scared.
You didn't expect that one.
Maybe some kind of exorcism has taken place here or something.
Ah, yes. Yes.
I just feel like we're ghosts haunting Myrna.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
like your vision,
we're
and I
all
just see the
invisible.
room, you know?
Yeah, we're like moving stuff, and you pretty much don't see us. Well, you see our names and eyeballs, but
Yeah.
I'm off. See you later.
Okay. Hey, good luck.
Yes.
look,
All right. Hey, so these are very good remarks, and if we think about playing with time, we started in the dark, and that is in a sense of time we're all in the same space in the same time with not really a progression of time, so to speak. But then when you pressed the button, Myrna, that was a pivotal moment. That is the start of something, and then we saw that bedroom far away, right? Or that bed only, actually, just with a light on it. What does that do with the sense of time? Was it all like of course it's a linear experience because we just live in a linear world, at least our brain thinks that. But then the question is, of course, was that bed with the spotlight, was that before this one? And is this space actually in the now, or was it in the past? What do you think? And there's no right answers. That's just what you think.
Well, in my opinion, I think there's multiple ways of looking at it because you have the time, as in the aesthetics of time, right? Like I said earlier, it's like this feels like somewhere around the war to me. That's a part of time, but I do feel like we're like this scene, especially we're here now.
Yeah.
So I think that's also like. When you're creating something, that's something you need to be aware of. Like the person that experiences it, of the people that are will be experiencing this, they are in the now. They're like their physical bodies, they're in the present. But like if I look at this room and I would have immersed myself entirely in this room, I probably think I'm somewhere, like I said, or around the war-ish, that kind of era.
Right.
That's what the room represents, and that's like the difference between time. Like there's, I don't remember the word for it, but like the difference between those two. That is, it's somewhere in the back of my mind.
I understand, and that is so the context is a different time.
Yes.
But if you press the blood button again, the light switch behind you. My question is, is this room? Of course, we experience everything in and now, but I also heard somebody remark and say something horrible has happened in this room. So something has happened in the past, in a way. And are we really in this room right now, or is it more like, what is this then? Right? It's dark.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Or now it feels even more different.
And also, I think it was nice that somebody mentioned that we are ghost haunting her. That also implies not necessarily the same time. So these are just thoughts. There's no right and wrong. I think Matter can also maybe explain a little bit more about this room, but I'm not sure if you wanna. But so there was some questions about indeed what the room is telling. So maybe you can just share your thoughts on this sketch, because it was really a proof of concept, right?
Definitely was. I guess I have two minds about it. One is that if I explain it, then it ruins your own personal experience of how you perceive it, and then that kind of hurts it. But then again, coming from like a teacher educator standpoint, I feel like that it's a shame not to see what the perspective is, to kind of have some type of empathy or understanding, and know that everyone's kind of in the same place of learning and trying things. So I think I'll go from that, use that angle just for now. You'll note that when you enter in by clicking on the luggage, that immediately you're transported here, and still with everything that's how it's interesting with multiple users, it is a one-person experience. So everyone that fell, which is fun and interesting, that wouldn't have been the experience. But I like how the different ways people interact within an environment, even if it's not its intention. And originally, the next scene per se would have been that Myrna, you would have been above your body.
Mm-hmm.
There we are. You would have been about an angle like this, no room, and your body would have been lying here, and you would have been moving slowly as there's a certain type of music and sound towards your body, kind of like an out-of-body experience. You would move closer and closer into it. Your size would have been more like this, and once you hit your forehead, then you would have woken up, or at least been in this room, lying on the bed, now that you can do that stuff in NEOS. And only here is the tick of the clock.
Yeah.
And the sound of the music. And so the goal with this would be eventually, as you're slowly trying to unravel what this is about, if anything, or your own interpretation, that as you move to different areas within this space, not just within the space, this acts as almost as a hub, that you're always coming back to this place, that every time it slightly changes, and based on your memories and what you can think of and how you interact, the environment itself kind of alters. And so it kind of is meant to encourage exploration and what it is that makes up what a human is. And are we just a conglomeration of senses? How are we able to express that when all we have is a little bit of touch sense, audio and visual sense? How do you give the sense of pain, or how do you give this sensory aspect of scent, smell, or touch? I mean, well, not touch, scent, or like taste. And those are things. How do you interpret that when we don't have those tools yet to utilize? So that's not as far as like conceptual, not as far as everything that this is about, but some aspects. Do you all have any questions?
I like how you just said something about your senses. Smell. John, zou jij je mic setting aan kunnen passen?
Yeah.
And once you said your sense of smell, I was immediately drawn into, oh yeah, this room has a very particular smell, and I almost smell it.
Oh,
I
nice.
think that even just mentioning that this room has a certain smell activated my sense of like, yeah, let's try to interpret what that means. What
Nice.
does it smell like?
Yeah. Interesting indeed. Okay, thank you, Medra. That's a very good start of a conversation we can now continue to have. Let's jump back to the classroom for a moment, and then we can decide on the next world we're going.
Sure. Okay. I love how instantaneous.
Yeah. It stays quite interesting. So, do you feel, Medra, we would move logically to a next world, or do we make it a choice we can make together? Both ways, if you have a feeling that one particular world would be suitable now.
I mean, if we're already going on with the idea of like one place to another, Galawa, like the one we were looking at was Galawa.
Yeah.
Or if we want something that's like embodiment, or Viridian Islands, maybe Pantheons later.
Yeah.
I think Galawa would be good. That one will be too slow for us, I think, and it won't.
I was thinking about that one too. And the Broken Heart, what was it again?
That was the one that was, it wasn't that interesting. Like it has cool. The one that's photogrammetry that we went to a long time ago that you could smoke in it.
That's a nice one to do at some point, indeed. Yeah, let's go to the Galawa world. Why not? Yes.
Okay. First.
Yeah, you have to wait till Medra's gone. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, noise gate threshold.
If you can, you might want to be in walk mode. But I don't think you have to.
I almost fell off the map.
Yeah, that sometimes happens.
Whoa, this is so weird.
Is there a total of 6 people in the group?
Yeah,
Currently,
Pepijn is
only,
gone, right? Yes.
only Pepijn is missing.
Okay. Medra, maybe it's nice to say a bit about the Japanese community for a moment.
Okay. The Japanese community in NEOS is fairly new. They've been around, if I'm correct, no more than a year. And it's mainly a cohesive group that I know of. And a large part of the works are done by groups of people. However, in terms of this one, this is by Gawawa. I've never met them, and the way they like to approach things is fairly interesting. And at the moment, unfortunately, while everyone here are artists mostly, or creators and tinkerers, the language gap has caused issues with us being able to connect with each other. And there's starting to be made translation tools where people can actually talk with each other, and there's subtitles above their heads. Both the Japanese community and the English-speaking community has made ways to do this. So, yeah, it's interesting to see what
Yeah, and I think they're really experimental, and of course their language, their cultural language, not only in voice but also visually, is different. So I think it's always interesting to visit designs by cultures that are not necessarily Western European or Anglo-Saxon. So it's nice to maybe you lead the way, Medra, because I got lost last time you showed me this one.
All right, just follow me on this. And something to know with Japanese culture, at least not in American culture, art is not always considered valued. But from what I've heard in Japanese culture, it is valued just as much as math or science, which is interesting from the get-go. Yeah, I'll move a little bit slower. Are you live again, Randy? Oh, cool. Oh.
Did somebody fell off?
To their death.
Yeah, Robin, I think.
Have you already figured out that you can jump to other people through your session function?
Yeah, Medra and I found that out yesterday.
Yeah, the way to jump.
Everybody, yeah. If you're too far away,
you might want to be a broadcast for it, so you can hear you.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So, Robin, if you want, you can also jump to us by basically going to your menu, and then in session you see users, and you see a jump button next to each user, so you can jump to Medra. There you go.
I got it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So if we lose each other for whatever reason, it could be that we go in broadcast mode and then you all jump to either me or Medra. I hope you're still there. Yes, you are. It's just wiped off the world. All right. Let's continue. Great. Is everybody in the bus? It's so funny.
Dear everybody.
Did you all take your drugs? Good. Oh, somebody jumped up already? Ah, look.
Oh, nice.
There he goes berserk on. Good. Going up there.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. is the way to go, actually. I guess so.
Oh no.
Well, I'm scared of everything moving while me being still and stuck and just falling without me knowing where I am. And I keep meeting different people wherever I fall. I'm like, hey Joris, hey, you're here too.
So where do we go from here, Medra?
Click on the star.
Alright.
I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, here we go.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't notice that before. Huh. I think some people warp through the floor.
I found everyone again.
Oh, working.
No.
Well, I teleported. Still not everyone.
I think we lost Joris.
I just got launched into space.
Oh, no.
I just jumped back.
Boost time.
Bath.
Giant glass.
Whatever happened to Joris?
Well,
we're only
you
missing...
must know about the jump function, right?
Yeah, you just explain it to us.
Maybe he found another place.
I'm gonna jump to him. Yeah, that
So,
happened.
let's see. I'm gonna be in fly mode for this one. Oh yeah, he's not here. He's not here yet. He's stuck in some kind of thing. Oh whoa!
I
didn't
found
see
a
that.
door.
Hey, how did you open up that door?
You can just click it.
Oh. Oh, they're using Anomalous' door. Nice. Smart. Nice. That's funny, they're using slides too. Except he glued everything together. Smart. Cool. Well, it's... Oh, Brennan.
Like an even more trippy version of Monster.
Jesus.
Is het like Monster
Wat een
Inc?
fucking wereld is dit.
It is actually, we kept falling. Hey, you took it with you. We kept falling somewhere in the middle of like nowhere, and then you see the world sort of falling by. But Robin, you did manage actually to go to the end point with the little chair and the.
The teleporter worked when no one was around. I jumped to Medra and it brought me to before the teleporter on my own, and I just clicked it and suddenly it worked.
Nice. So maybe we should sort of briefly talk a little bit about this world. So, what are your observations?
A lot of rotating stuff.
Sorry?
A lot of rotating stuff.
A lot of rotating stuff, yes.
A lot
Yeah.
of moving things.
Yeah.
I actually find it kind of beautiful.
Yeah, what do you like about it in terms of the aesthetics?
Well, they tell a story, I feel like. And
Yeah?
I get the feeling, yeah. For me, it tells like all the knowledge in the universe. That's why it's symbolized with the bookcases, with the rotating orbs, the globe, and everything. But at the same time, it also tells something about human nature. I feel it's a kind of fake because I don't quite fully grasp it yet. But in the end room, there is this thing that goes up, and that kind of looks like what our DNA looks like. So that's the idea I got from it, and I kind of like this. It's the aesthetic of it as well.
Yeah, it's very cosmic and all-encompassing, otherworldly kind of place. Yeah. What else? What are your observations?
Well, last room we were talking a lot about time, and I feel like this environment really presents itself as timeless.
Yes.
So we're stuck in time or moving really fast, but at least time isn't really a thing here.
Yeah.
But we've got this music on loop, just this linear music, the same track on loop.
Yeah.
And it just takes me completely out of where I am because it makes it incredibly linear and Earth-like.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the soundtrack is a bit of a problem. It becomes a bit video clippy to me. But yeah. What else?
What else makes it feel timeless to you all?
Yeah.
What else makes it feel timeless to you all?
Well, the skybox is like this area really, like the space and clouds, like kind of really thing. Gives me the idea that we're seeing multiple times at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Also, the teleporting contributed to that, I think. Like, really being able to move from one space to another so quickly without any time being in between.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's interesting what you say, because there was time in between. The circle was surrounding you, and it took some time, but you didn't decide how fast you were going. Something else decided. So this place decided how fast things were going for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting observations. And I agree that the texture of this outer globe is representing different time contexts. But what to me was interesting is that when the jumping went wrong, I ended up outside of the whole world into the cosmos, and you could see this construction from the outside in a way, which was another timeless space, but also in place I was sort of isolated from everybody else, which I thought was very interesting. It's definitely different walking around here alone or with the group.
Yeah. Someone else fall in the distance being stuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also that some of us were lost in the same way and then others are already somewhere else. So you get this sense of space that also is a social space. Like our social spaces were in a way disconnected or, in a different place. So that I think is also interesting. Yeah. And we're actually then the timekeepers. So it's our experience that constructs the linear experience as a time structure. Okay, so can we jump back to the classroom?
Sure.
So let's see. Maybe it's nice to do the Viridian Islands, or
Yeah, we have Viridian Islands. We have and Upside Down. I think those are all in the pantheon of deities.
So let's do the Viridian Islands first, and then maybe after that. I'm not saying a broken heart is funny, but you understand what I mean. Mm-hmm. Talking about time, this is this awkward moment where we're waiting to go somewhere else. It's really like the elevator of NEOS, so to speak.
Yeah, sleeping.
Ja, dat is grappig, hè? Want soms ben je ook in gesprek met iemand en dan stopt iedereen met praten, want je weet niet precies wanneer je verdwijnt. En het is echt een heel raar soort awkward, ik ben overal tussenin moment.
Ik vind het ook grappig om te zien hoe iedereen om de beurt verdwijnt, inderdaad. En gewoon, pop, gewoon weg.
Ja.
Dat we niet over hebt. Oh boy.
You don't
So
know
if
when you
you are having
disappear.
performance issues, over around the corner is a series of different options to turn off fireflies, to set up some performance.
I mean, it's still loading for me.
This looks huge.
It is.
Oh god, this is too cheap for me.
It's so pretty.
Oh, this looks like something you made, Yuri.
Oh, thank you.
Very well.
This is all like birds. Yeah, this is done by a person named Veer. Just put that in the tree.
Okay, so the performance. I don't see it pretty.
Hmm. Oh.
Having the same issue, I see.
Ja, ik zit er overal tussenin nu, zeg
Ja,
maar.
inderdaad.
We're just leaving them.
Or you're
I'm
inside.
working on
You're
it. My
inside.
my UI isn't like rendering yet, so it's like.
Oh, no worries.
But I'm working on it. Don't worry.
If you want, you could.
Space time.
You respawn if you keep getting stuck between
Here,
the
I'll
trees.
I'll respawn you, Myrna.
Ah, thank you.
Did that help?
Yes, that helped. Thank you.
Good.
Is there anyone else that's stuck? Is there anyone else that's stuck anywhere?
This looks photo scans.
Ah, that's better. Sorry, I'm like music sensitive, so you know.
I understand. I'm sound sensitive as well.
Or sound sensitive, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So where is everybody? Are they already off?
Hello.
If you need to change performance settings, you can jump to yours, and there's things you can change to it's less slow on your computer if you're having issues.
I'm hearing voices. Where are they coming from?
I said already birds whistling.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Yeah, I noticed the performance issue, especially the particles, have a bit of an effect. So you can put the particles off if you feel it's not really performing well in your system.
I'm running at 60 FPS.
I'm running at 7.
That's not much.
That's painful.
Yeah, I'm on 20, so it's not particularly good either. But anyway.
Yeah, there's fireflies and I think some lighting and other things.
Yeah. And the mirror we leave off, yes. So, anyway. This is more like a very figurative fantasy place, clearly. I think what is nice, what you can do is that you can just sort of walk around, explore for a few minutes, and then we'll go on broadcast mode and we gather back here and sort of briefly discuss a little bit what we found. But it's quite big actually, so you can also go in fly mode, but just have a look around and we'll see each other in a few minutes.
Sure. Which button is broadcast mode? Is it the blue one?
Yes.
Cool, thanks.
John, you're okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the settings to.
Oh no, the settings are in here. That'll help you. Here, follow me. They're right here, and these are local, so you can click on them, and it won't affect other people.
Yeah. It's like, go and play, children.
It's true. It's so funny because I think they're in the state right now that it's just overwhelmed. It's just like it would be like kindergartners, like there's too much. There's too much.
I have to do a little pit stop, so I'll be back in a minute.
Sure. I'm gonna. Everyone's doing it.
Wait, Yuri, is that you?
Yes.
It was so funny. I was like flying up there, and I was like, oh, a butterfly, and then it was like, oh wait, it's Yuri.
There's a cave here.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's not much there though. So big. This.
I've heard one way to make it hurt less, as far as if it's very front heavy, is to put some kind of weight where the back area would be for the audio attachment, and that helps balance it out and make it less straining on the neck and head.
Yeah, first of all, I'm gonna look into it because it's kind of tough doing this for 2 hours at a time.
Well, look who I found.
Well, what the cat
There's a headset I used to use, which was a Samsung Odyssey, and it was so front heavy.
Dus ik zag het van hier en headaches
Ja, ik hoor dus heel veel mensen. Ik hoor geluid en ik hoor mensen.
Oh, een uitzicht heeft erin. Dan heeft niet dan de repetition of het water krijgen.
An old, outdated one, but it's the big thing is it's not really.
Is it a CV1?
Imagine.
No, but not that.
Range is veel mee.
Ja, toch?
Beter dan die default terrain die zeg maar wij hebben.
Resolution's decently low, but
Hoeveel ik eruit zien? Ik denk dat er een hoop custom made is.
looks okay, and it's comfortable enough to be able to handle
Hele terrein.
staying here for
Zo.
decent periods of time.
Oh, yeah. But my laptop's starting to get outdated, so I can't handle lots of things anymore.
Ik voel dat.
Like NEOS is quite heavy on performance.
It is.
Absolutely.
I can do it
Er
on
loopt iemand.
fine at home, but
John.
it's more
Yeah.
people joining in a server, I'm gone.
En hier is ook Robin.
Hey, John.
Hey. Bacon kopen.
Er gaat één keer een plakje bacon langskomen.
It does feel a bit desolated in a way, I
De
guess.
Robins character wel echt passen. Is echt zo lopen de paddenstoel in het bos.
Definitely pretty open, like groves of.
Yeah, it feels like an MMORPG abandoned.
Definitely.
Hello.
Hello. We'll be getting a quest soon.
We're gathering the group.
I see you've come a long way, adventurer.
Here, take this potion. Let's kill some wolves and find some new pens to wear.
I haven't fought a single wolf yet.
Maar quest.
Would be nice. And is this where you were born, Robin? Seeing your
Yeah. Yeah, my school was right over there.
It's quite beautiful, I must say.
We now have for lunch and a drink of water.
Actually, we can picnic here for a moment.
I think there's a boss coming.
Oh, it's a Stefan? It's like
Stefan.
huge in the back.
So let's gather all, not where we started, but we're basically gathering now. Oh, there's Stefan. Everybody's here. Okay. Why am I shouting? Good. Okay, so something different, right, than the worlds we saw before. So what are your observations when you sort of roam this place for a bit?
It's relaxing.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry?
I mean, I yeah, Randy said it's relaxed.
Relaxed. Yeah, can you
didn't
can you tell
feel
why?
that.
Why it's relaxed, Randy?
Well, it makes me feel like when I'm walking through the woods near my home. Well, it's not this fantasy yet, but we have. Well, I live near the beach, and we have like these dunes there.
Yeah.
There's like a huge forest next to it. So, in the summer, I like to take walks there because it's really quiet, and the only thing you hear are like the birds chirping. And this kind of reminds me.
Yeah, interesting. What else?
The complete opposite.
Yeah, me
Opposite,
too.
you get nervous by it.
Well, nervous may not be the right word. I was just thinking of when we started out, insecure might be a better word.
Okay.
Because what other people in this team get is that they feel like taking a walk or getting relaxed. It's just the complete opposite in VR. I don't experience it at all. I just feel nervous and insecure, and it's about like, what am I supposed to do here? What do you want me to see there? Is it really empty and just allowing me to go for a walk? Because I don't really need that in VR. I'll just go for a walk outside.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
I just like it for entirely.
Yeah, sorry. Go on, Stefan.
Yeah, I also have the same feeling as Robin, but for an entirely different reason. I feel very trapped, like I'm in a snow globe, because everything is just designed too perfectly and put together.
Yeah, snow globe is a really nice comparison.
And for me, it really sparks my.
Do you have that on a 2D screen as well, or do you just?
No, I have it in VR. I think it's also because I kind of got disconnected, so I had to find you again. And then you have the thing, I have to find people in the forest. And finding people in the forest is one of the most complicated things to do. But here it was just so easy. And then you notice that everything is in a big circular movement around the middle, that the mountains kind of form this bowl that you're in that you can't get out.
Yeah.
It's not very enclosed.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I don't have that feeling? That I don't feel enclosed?
I have it either.
No.
I can
I mean,
see
yeah.
why you feel it.
I can see it. I can see it too, but I don't have the feeling. Maybe it's
But
because
that's
I'm
why
not
we're discussing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's no right or wrong in this. I mean, it's good that we find language for our subjective experiences. And it also makes us realize that when you design an experience, it's not going to be the same for everybody. So let's say you're designing a space that you want to convey a certain degree of relaxation, for example. It might be that some who go through that experience actually have the opposite experience. So it's very good to become aware. It is not like either one of you is right or wrong. You're all right in your own right. What you experience is what you experience. But it's good to understand that indeed, whatever you design, it will not necessarily result in the same experience for everybody. And that's a good point to make. But I also, what I like about the feedback that I hear you say, is that the space itself does, in a way, have an effect on how we behave and what we do. For example, I jumped out for a moment, I came back, I saw nobody. So first thing, like Stefan was saying, if you're in a forest, you need to find people. The first thing you try to do is orient on sound. And I heard Robin and Medra talk somewhere. So I was flying because I didn't want to use the jump button because I was like, maybe I can find them just by sound. And then I saw you guys far away just walking in between the trees, have actually quite a relaxed conversation. And for me, sort of flying there and then landing with you and joining the conversation while we were sort of floating through, the set path, was also an interesting experience. You seemed actually to be quite relaxed the way you talked about things, but
Yeah, to add to that, I wasn't at first because I actually did really immerse myself in that conversation where I was like, yeah, we're just going for a walk and we're talking. But when I was talking and Medra was silent, I was just like, oh, I can't hear his footsteps. Is he still coming with me? Or
very good. Yes, that's a good point. Do you still have an echo, Stefan? Unfortunately, so maybe mute yourself if you're not talking.
But to be fair, he's also a piece of flying toast. He doesn't have feet.
of course, but
that's a very good point. But you don't make sound yourself, so that is a good point. That you don't feel that walking is walking. It's all floaty in that sense. Yeah. What else, Mirna, John? What do you think?
Well, I really get also a sort of mix from the same feeling I got from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, like really triggering my sense of exploration and I want to see what's there and I want to see what's there. So that's what it triggered for me mostly.
Yeah. John,
I want to ask Yuri and Randy maybe a question. Like, if if you want to talk about this environment and observe it a bit and discuss it, like what things would you focus on in this project?
In what sense do you mean?
Well, talking as artists, observing this in a way like how is it designed, what's it supposed to evoke, or what do you get out of it? I was wondering like if you add a bit to that, because I have a really hard time observing and discussing environments outside of my subjective view.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if you guys have like, I just want to hear you talk. Like...
You want to say something to that, Yuri?
My mic was off. I thought the glowing crystals were like, I don't know if they were placed there on purpose, because they were like the first things I was focusing on. Because they were so bright, I guess. But maybe like the map design itself, I don't even remember where we started. Was it like up there?
Yeah.
With a little because it's like, we're doing like lower every time, so you start somewhere where you see the whole thing first. It's like an indication of a really big world.
And you're on desktop mode, right?
Yeah, I have a VR set, but it's Randy's. It's also logged in on Randy's account, so I just want to wait till we have the extra VR sets.
You can use it if you want, don't worry.
Yeah, I know, but I was testing it and it wasn't your account, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Randy, because last time we visited your world, you were in desktop mode as well, right? And now you seem to be in VR. Am I correct?
No, I'm still in desktop mode because
you're still in desktop mode. I see. Okay, your avatar moves quite naturally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's a big that is something to mention. I think it really matters whether you're wearing a VR headset or you're looking at a flat screen inside of a room.
That was what I was saying earlier. It's probably makes me feel different to the people that are in VR because I'm looking at a flat screen.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's about what's inside my frame, right? I don't have 360-degree vision if I don't move my mouse. Like, if I don't move my mouse, I have something in my frame, and for me as an artist, I try to come up with like good camera angles, like things that make the scene look good, right?
Right.
And that's what the first thing I was focused on when I first got here. I walked all the way up to the edge there, and I was looking into the sunset, and I just framed it so you didn't see the repetition of the materials, and it was actually quite it looked really cool to me. It's like something you would see on a painting or something like that, you know, or like in a professional made video game, and that's what I found really interesting about this.
I think the idea of finding your angle is also really interesting. So you decided for yourself already what is your angle, and then you just found it. I think that's just an interesting idea in itself.
Yeah.
It's really fun because I am kind of doing the same thing because I make screen captures a lot. And then I'm like trying to put my VR set in like such a position. I'm like, yes, now I have the lantern, and I have the crystal, and then everybody, okay. And then I'm kind of doing the same thing. So that's funny how I still do that even though I am in VR.
Well, it's really nice to then use that virtual camera that they have in NEOS, because you can make that decision to have like a 2D image, 3D image, 360 image, stereoscopic image, and sort of experiment with that a little bit with the same environment and see how different actually those perspectives are for the same environment. Yeah. It's perfectly fine to make those photos all the time, and for that reason, actually, just to explore the frames that you see, but also maybe to see what happens if you do a 360 photo, etc. Hey, I just want to make sure, because Myrna, you are in VR right now, right?
Yes.
Yes, and Robin also. Joris, are you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so it's Randy, Yuri, and John. You're not in VR right now, am I correct?
Yeah.
There's one VR set has been delivered.
There's one extra VR set being delivered. But I want to make sure, and this is something to negotiate then with Stefan, because Lotte cannot arrange a lot of stuff right now. But it's very important to me that the next time we meet, we're all in VR. it's very important because we need to also share our experiences from that perspective, because it is fundamentally different. So that would really be something that we need to work towards within a week or so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the possibility to use the VR room. Two of the machines are set up to use NEOS. So that's one of the options. The other is we need to wait for the directors of the school to return the sets. That's kind of where the issue is.
Is that the reason? Okay.
There's
I'll
two
just start
sets,
pestering
extra
my
sets.
director then, because I think he gave it to Tony actually, and Tony can just give it to me. So that's one. I know there's one lying in the black box at eBay in a case. So ask Astrid, and she can give you one. That's already two.
There's also two extra. There's a 5 and a Rift in our class as well.
Yeah.
And a five works just as well, maybe even better. So
Yeah, they're in use.
Yeah, it should be good tomorrow.
Okay, great, fantastic. If there are no further comments about this particular world, maybe we go back to the classroom. Sure.
I also love it. We call it a classroom. Like, it doesn't even remotely look like a
The lecture
classroom.
chamber is a bit of a.
It means the same in a way.
Well, what you would
Friendly
like to call it,
store chamber.
Mirna? How would you call this space?
A meeting room or something?
Meeting room?
Yes.
Yeah.
Share studio?
Yeah,
I
something
would
like
call it-
that. Meeting point.
Yeah, meeting point. Okay.
I call
I'll
it
keep it
six,
in mind.
I call
I'd like
it
a
six,
studio.
6 walls and a roof. That's what I call it.
Yes,
And-
but there
and a
are
lot
more
of
worlds
stuff.
with that idea, so it may be good to give it a name that we all recognize.
I call it 6 guys and a girl.
Oh my god.
What do you think, Madra?
Let's see. Depends on how this one would change the context. The Pantheon. This one just
Like
kinda
the
shows off, like,
boys
using,
at Myrna.
Yeah, I
using,
think it's nice. For, exactly, but we can do that as the last one.
Boys is a series on Amazon Prime.
And then we have that upside down thing with which one?
Where's your Raid Shadow
Let's do
Legends
the
sponsor?
one, the tunnel
Okay.
one.
Okay. You all might need to in this one change to walk mode. There might be some issues, so I'll start it up. This is a creator jam, and the theme. We'll kind of describe it once I go inside.
Yeah.
So it'll be a minute. Wait till I.
Like the name.
Oh, he's still. You have to join again, probably. Nope. It's not doing anything.
geen laden.
Ja. Loading.
Does everybody have the loading sign?
Yes.
Good.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Bob's having a 2D sprite.
You girl.
I have a sponsorship. Alright.
Oh, sick. Dat doe je goed.
Looking on is even worse.
Although everything still needs to load.
Yeah, you're getting like this checkerboard environment.
But it's just yeah, I think we've been here on Monday.
I don't think I've been here.
If this is a last creator jam, then we've been here, yeah.
Oh, I mean, wait, never mind. It says your name. It's just.
Yeah, our stage right now. Probable Prime is being here.
No.
There are no Where we?
History.
Let's see if I know any of these names.
I know.
Type your message here. What?
I'm not even loaded in yet.
Yeah, for me it has to load like 300 more assets, so...
Oh yeah, I'm like at... Oh, I'm done. Where did everyone go? Down there?
67.
Alright, goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, there's an invisible floor here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, everybody, when you're falling, try to fall to the first platform. Otherwise, just use the jump button to get to us.
Oh, I fell through it!
What button?
How was your day of teaching? Well, I just saw my students falling by.
Give it a sec. I'm coming. Hey, the
I'm
music
falling.
loaded
Really
Yeah, it's still
slowly.
not done loading.
Catch me, Medra. Ah, thanks. Appreciate it.
My computer doesn't like this. It's like totally crashed. Like every time when I move my head, it comes into loading screen and I just see my standard Vive loading environment with like the mountains. I'm like, that's not good. Oops. Now. Yeah, but I can't eat right now. Because I'm in a meeting. Smobbies. I'm cool. Straks kunnen ze me horen. Ik weet niet of ze me kunnen horen nu. Shut up. Still loading. Still loading. Oh, het is zo snel als ze nu allemaal op mij aan het wachten zijn. Zo kut.
as well. Yeah, if he, but he was doing some research, I think, with some people in NEOS as part of his assignment. So if he's still busy, then I'm sure he will.
I didn't make it public because it's a bunch of people on Twitter, so I made it public without getting on the streaming session list.
I see.
Invite Myrna in.
Okay, well, I guess he can send me a message if he wants to join again. It's so funny to jump off together.
I like this one. You're gonna like this one as well.
Yeah, this person likes to have a silly sense of humor. He comes from Rec Room. Quite an expert there.
Jonas, this is your room, dude.
And so, did you end up meeting with Zizzle? Yoda Stingle?
Yeah.
This is the person that made that room.
Oh, cool. My scary buddy.
He's a great person to talk to all around. But I like the different use of lighting in each room. Everyone.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. They're all very atmospheric in that sense.
This is trippy.
Funny how the channel's getting dark as well.
Hey, Myrna, you're back.
Yes,
Good.
I'm back.
Oh, hey, Myrna.
Sorry, I had to reboot my computer, and my computer isn't that
That's a-
fast, so...
That's okay.
no worries.
Those things happen.
So we'll just be following Myrna.
Sure.
The next one. This is Probable Prime. So if you remember his videos,
So trippy.
I love this part of the room.
This is so trippy, the tunnel.
Yeah,
I love
that
the
is.
tunnel.
It's
That's the
interesting,
best
eh?
part.
The sense of movement is just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm not moving, but in fact I am.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
not
know.
even in VR.
They do this in haunted houses where
In
something's
VR,
rotating.
you
and-
complete my whole body's just feeling that I'm moving forward.
Yeah. I would love to see this.
Do you have
played
that
with
too,
more.
Robin, or?
Depends on what I'm focusing at.
Ja, als je een beetje gewoon de peripheral vision zo, een beetje voor je uit
Ja, precies.
kijkt.
Yeah, I just had it when I jumped to Rennie and I was here for the first time. I felt like I was kept getting thrown off back out of the tunnel.
Ja. Ja.
Ooh. If you're
That's
tiny,
really nice.
tiny it has an interesting effect as well.
Oh, that's really nice.
If you scale, yeah, if you scale yourself, that's interesting.
Proceed.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Proceed.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck. Proceed.
Yeah,
Proceed.
very nice. Yeah, you start to really fly almost.
I'm getting a headache if I look too long on it.
Hey man, I'm even in VR.
So yeah, so some more meme jokes. As you can tell, there's a theme with people love their memes.
Is that the next one?
Yeah, let's go for the next one.
The other one.
Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh, I'm not gonna make it.
Oh, it's so dark here.
Yeah.
Anyone have a light?
Oh, this is it. I guess. Oh no, no.
Yeah, grab that. Yeah, there's a light. Grab it. Grab it.
Oh, you can.
Yes. Someone grab the light. Maybe someone on desktop. I'm not sure what it'll do otherwise.
Okay.
It's nice how people
And-
appear and disappear because of the light.
Is it on? It's This one isn't on, is it?
Who's holding the light?
Someone has to hold it with their hand. Grab it.
Yeah, and go first.
Yeah, you go first for us.
Man, Stefan, you're huge.
Lead the way, Robin. Where are we going?
I'm already lost.
Oh,
What is going on?
I don't like that sound.
I can grab them.
These are really nice textures, by the way, to also save in your inventory.
Yep, everything you can save.
Yeah.
Everything
I
here
was
is-
saving some stuff.
If you're having a party in the studio, you can hang these in the space.
And just to note, this is all stuff done in one day. This is created in one day. Everyone getting together and making this.
Crazy.
And then the places that people were falling between helped kind of set up the distance so it would feel kind of interesting to fall a certain amount, make sure you'd be able to make it and have that kind of struggle. And the pieces are in the public, the Creator Jam public folder. And they're just cylindrical. Yeah.
The next one, I don't like it.
Okay, yeah, we can go to the next one.
Okay, we go to the next one.
I love it.
I mean, can we skip the next one?
Oh, this is related, I think. Yeah, this one's related.
Whoa.
It's not glowing for me anymore.
Yeah, it.
What are these
Said that it
things?
wasn't glowing yet. This section is affected by the other section. That if the other section, the lantern's on and those lights are affected, the lights in here will be affected as well.
Ah, I didn't know that.
It's
nice.
Terrifying figures down my inventory.
This is created by
Indeed, he says an avatar.
Yeah, you can wear this in Avatar. I'm not sure if you can wear this one
You
though.
can? But not this one. Not yet.
I don't know if I
I'm
want
sure
to.
someone will make it.
Soon.
But they're really nice. Yeah.
Oh my god, you should not go in there.
Alright.
But that just tells me that I should.
Okay, let's do that. Yes.
I'm afraid I just
I like the reflective materials right there. That could be useful. Really throws feeling of like space. All right, next place.
How many more, Medra, in this?
That's the last one.
Okay.
I don't know where
Yes.
to end.
Now, how do we get? Okay, fine. We'll fly.
Whoa.
Okay.
So,
Oh, yes, I
grab
forgot.
a mushroom.
Grab a mushroom, everybody. All students.
Oh, someone needs to feed it to me then.
Have a mushroom first. Here, you just keep your head closed, and you can't grab it.
Walk towards the light.
I can grab it like this, but
Yes,
last
you
time
like some
someone
truffles?
fed it to me.
Wait.
The original to something new, and how does that new thing make me feel?
Waar is onze
It's sort of it's
Whoa.
nice to actually have the mushroom because it really affects your.
Did you eat it yet, John?
No.
How does he
Do
do
you want me to help you?
Yes,
Let me feed it to you. I think I can feed it to you. You don't grab it for a second. Oh crap! Where you at? There you are, John. Here.
Wait, I'm here. Wait.
There you are.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Dark now.
Is anyone else needing help with desktop? We have to feed it to them, I think.
They're still at the entrance actually.
I want more mushrooms.
More!
And then off.
Yeah, that's a little different than before the mushroom.
You can't?
This is the only legal way for me to give you forbidden substances.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it's not forbidden, though.
True.
Well, let's just find more mushrooms.
It worked.
More mushroom.
Mushroom. Oh my gosh.
I still need one.
That's not feeding. That's just.
Someone feed it to me.
Here, I'll feed it to you.
There we go.
Wait, stop.
we go.
Someone.
Randy, don't move.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
So what did you do in class today?
Yeah, exactly. Same.
More.
So, Metro, maybe we can jump back to the studio so we can see the studio with new eyes.
Sure.
I don't know if it still works then, but
We've already seen it with new eyes.
Oh, we have to. Let me bring that with us.
Well, didn't you create your own psychedelic effect in the studio?
Add us to the class under.
yeah, that's fine.
Oh ja, nu gaan we allemaal hier zitten.
Ja, dat krijg je. De eerste die ergens een wereld af.
De eerste wereld die ik in NEOS heb gemaakt.
Er is een Slenderman in de lucht.
Oh ja.
So whose
Oh,
world is
daar.
this?
This is mine. This is actually my first room where I was just testing out model imports and stuff. And I had this 3D rendered scan of a museum. So I just put it in. I was like, how does the physical world look in NEOS? But I couldn't get colliders to work or anything yet because I was still an idiot.
Sure. I guess the studio crashed, so this is why we spawned all back to our own rooms.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. See,
So
there's-
who wants to host the torture chamber?
I'm not gonna host it, but I do have a world orb right here.
You don't want me
Somebody
to be the host?
got
I
me
know
stuck
that it
in
might not
the
be best
scan
because
now.
whoever has the best computer, because since I'm across the
can host
ocean,
it.
it might be better. See someone going in a 3D scan?
Oh shit.
That's one big ass cathedral.
It's interesting actually to see people walking through these little sets because it's a one-way mirror effect in a way.
I love that.
Yeah.
When you're in the room, you don't see that people are outside.
Human aquarium.
I see you.
Yeah.
I also think it's just
I
a
love
really
it.
interesting environment. Especially because you don't know what's inside.
Yo, I can use the stairs and then nothing.
Oh.
Aw.
Can I have more of my Coke scoop? Yeah.
heeft de veranderingen niet opgeslagen. Nou, is weer een
maar
bende.
hij slaat die veranderingen nooit op, lijkt het wel.
Alleen maar als ze verkeerd zijn.
Ja.
And why not while here?
Door de mes.
Yeah. Bring out some mushrooms. There we are.
More
plenty of
mushrooms.
I want one.
Oh, here. One for you.
Yes.
Give me a little bit of lag spikes.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Save. Oh God.
Oh, God.
Like yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah!
I'm gonna guess something went wrong with the save.
Such a good roller coaster, but it doesn't connect. I couldn't get it to connect.
Oh, that roller coaster makes the mushroom even better.
Oh, dat is instant.
Oh my god, that's really horrific.
It's also one to infinity.
I brought in the mushrooms too. Yours.
Ja.
Oh, you put them outside. They're huge. That's lovely.
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
Guilty.
Oh.
Whoa, if you would eat
that
that, you never
cannibalism?
get
Yeah.
normal again.
Oh my god.
I can't even
Like you're
feel
a
it.
in real life.
Okay, I wanted to have a focused conversation, but I'm not sure if we can.
Oh no.
Could we do it? Attempt to sort of stand at the table for a moment?
Yeah.
Ja.
Let me turn on the music.
Thanks. So, how is everybody doing? Is everybody still okay in terms of energy?
Ja.
I thought to sort of do this within an hour, but we already took almost 2 hours for this tour, which is perfectly fine. So my questions is, of course, we also now went through the tunnel world, and there's more worlds actually that you put it in the class worlds folder, right? There's more worlds. Yeah. So there's a few more there that you can also go and visit together. Okay, somebody is sharing his own physical environment with us in terms of soundscape. Okay, so the idea is to very briefly just talk with each other for a little bit. What are the elements that get you inspired, and what are elements that you feel would be interesting to explore further? And I say this also because, of course, I asked you to formulate all sorts of research questions, but I noticed also, as I understood from Stefan, that it's a bit hard for you to formulate particular research questions. And why is there some bird on my shoulder? And so I noticed that you're actually asking very interesting questions the moment we enter a space, and you have all sorts of opinions about it. So maybe it's not so hard to formulate questions as soon as you just get inspired by visiting places in NEOS or looking at examples. It can also be other examples, of course, from other media. So just to do a little exercise on that. So with all the worlds we've seen so far, what are the things that now stick to your mind as being something you want to explore further?
Well, I think.
You go first.
What I thought was interesting, especially because this was all about experiences completely within NEOS.
Yeah.
What I really liked was Medra's wake-up world, where one of the persons just decided to took on another role, and the rest was still joining, but everyone in his own different way.
Yeah. Okay.
And I thought that was just something.
And maybe somebody can just throw away those jumping holographic horses, because they're in my peripheral vision and they sort of take up my attention a lot.
Yep, there you
I
go.
have it yours. Don't worry about it.
All right.
I already deleted one.
Can you,
there's another one.
can you be more specific? What do you mean exactly?
I felt like I was an incredibly exciting theatrical improvisation aspect, where you're immediately thinking of, what is my purpose here? What am I? What are you? And why do I identify with? Still identify with Myrna a lot, because we decided that she became something else, and even though she was totally dead herself, we weren't a part of her anymore. But I still felt like that.
Interesting. There's actually one world that we haven't visited yet, where we all transform into weird snail-like creatures. So there is a way to actually have people embody different avatars, either by choice or not. So when you enter spaces, you also can give a certain avatar to somebody, or indeed make them disappear, or just make them floating eyes or whatever. So this idea of different roles, indeed, is an interesting thing to explore a bit further. Yeah. What else?
Well, I really thought that in a black area, and then also from the wake up, and then having presented a scene with one spotlight, I saw a lot of opportunities to tell narratives in that, because you you can get in a linear story with just a spotlight, and as soon as you're going to the next scene, you just turn the light on, and you turn the light on in some other place with another scene, and you can guide someone through that.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. So, which is of course very akin to the tradition of theater. So you're lighting places on the stage or theatrical environment that in that moment are active or needing attention. But I agree, the spatial element of needing to walk somewhere is also an interesting one. To get to a certain scene or a certain place.
But you could also get for instance, you get two spotlights with two scenes, and then you can choose for yourself which one you want to check out, and with that you can put the user on a different branch of the story.
Yes, and to add to that, and to maybe connect it a bit to what Robin was saying, it could also be that when you walk towards the spotlight and you enter a certain area, you become also, in a way, an actor. So if you're in the dark, you can maybe watch other people walking through scenes or being in the spotlight, literally, also becoming, in a way, an actor or performative or part of what you can look at. And so now we were all tourists, in a way, of all these worlds. And with the exception, of course, with you, Myrna, in the wake up world, you became also an actress. You became a personage. So this is nice to think about how you can have people jump roles, but also be aware that people look at each other also. So it's not only about becoming somebody, but it also other people becoming something else. Yes. Other thoughts? You can also think about spaces. It doesn't have to be all about storytelling or meaning. It can also be more in a spatial sense. What for example, lighting or textures or
I personally really like the variation. Also, it was the forest world, where it was pretty much just a showcase where you could walk around, and I don't know, it just gave a really peaceful feeling to me, at least. And others the wake up one, where we were part of what was happening. We had an influence on each other's experience.
Yeah,
it was not for all of them. I really liked the variation, so maybe something cool to explore more in the future with our projects as well, since we're doing more than one, doing like varied projects. So
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I agree. And of course, we picked like very different worlds for a reason, for that reason, actually. But it's also nice to think about. I don't know, how did you all feel about us traveling through that tunnel? So by falling, you enter every time different rooms. How was that for you?
Oh, it was really cool because you didn't know what to expect.
Yeah,
Like, it was a surprise every time.
Yeah, there's something surprising to it, and it's also there's always this moment of falling. To me, is really a moment of anticipation. I agree. And what else? Were the rooms all the same, or actually not? What kind of difference did you notice between the rooms?
The thing that I want to add to the falling is that I was also really targeted on hitting the platform and not falling next to it.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Which actually, I was there alone a little while ago, and then I didn't care as much. I felt like whatever order, I don't care. I'm just falling, and when I feel go forward, I will end up somewhere. But especially that we were a group, you want to be, you want to stick to the group and be in the same room in the same time. So that changes also the dynamic a little bit. But I'm just curious because I think Madra was mentioning this, but I noticed it as well. There was really a huge difference in atmosphere. Did you notice that with the different rooms? You also responded to that like, "Ooh, this is scary," or "Oh, I like it here," and that was not only about the objects or the textures that were used, but also about the lighting. I don't know if you have an eye for how lights are used. This room is lit like what I would call a snack bar, right? It's like equal TL lighting everywhere. It's functional light. You can see everything, and it has in a way no depth. But it's really interesting to also start experimenting more actively with light. So Myrna, what you're saying with using spotlights. Oh, there you go. So you see, things really, really change the moment you change the light. And I think a lot of NEOS worlds, they're getting better and better, but a lot of NEOS worlds tend to not pay much attention to lighting, while actually lighting is a very powerful way to create feeling, to create tension, to create atmosphere, to even create in a way a story. That would be definitely an advice to explore for me a bit further, and it's also really fun to do lighting. I think. But anyway. Yeah. So I'm thinking that doing now a 45-minute presentation on a very complex project that I've done is not a good idea. And I say this because we already doing this tour now for, almost 2 hours. So if it's okay with you, I want to postpone my presentation another week. Because then we're all in VR and we're also fresh. And I think the dynamic we now have is actually nice. So I feel I would just basically now talking about my project for an hour will not be very helpful. But it does give us another 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so to visit 1 or 2 more worlds for that reason. And we can choose 2 options. One is the weird space where we turn all into alien snails. And the other option is a world where people really play with this notion of gravity and what is up, what is down, what is bottom, what is left, what is right. So they're 2 distinctly different worlds. So my question would be... Are we going to get in that car and then drive off to that world? So my question is, what would have your preference? What do you feel would be the most exciting to do first?
I want to be a snail.
Sorry.
I want to be a snail.
You want to be a snail?
Yeah, same.
When you told us.
I was asking Madra, is that the same world we went to yesterday?
It is, Myrna. It's
Okay.
the same one.
Yeah, then I would like to show you that one because that was really cool. So I would like to go there.
Okay, well, that's obviously decided then. Let's go there.
Where the upside down are snails?
Do the snail first, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll open it up.
Oh god, there are so many LSD mushrooms.
Ja, maar deze room gaat toch weer weg.
True.
Dat zeiden wij vorige keer ook. En vorige keer heeft hij ook
Ja, maar we hebben
de
toch al
track.
een
Ja, dat is
Maar we
waar.
hebben toch een schone versie hiervan, of niet?
Ja, die had ik opgeslagen.
Hey Pepijn. You're joining?
Ik weet niet wie...
We hebben een
Ja,
World Orb
I'm
hier.
joining.
Kan je erbij?
Wil je ook een slak worden?
Ja hoor, ik vind
Akkie.
Wacht, welke is het?
Deze. Oh, wacht.
There you go. Oh, you look so lovely
Oh,
together.
you're beautiful.
Okay, this is not what I imagined by the snail. I was thinking more of we are actual snails and we're going to race.
Yeah, just
look
be
in the
careful.
mirror.
Watch out for the salt.
This is...
That looks disgusting.
I feel like from the movie Slither.
Oh, that's a good one.
But do you actually know the painting? Because it says it's based on a painting.
No. No. I think I think you can go to their website or somewhere and see their pantheon of minor deities. I think. That they made.
Nice.
There we are. Thought I'd make a couple 360s.
Test.
Ah, my tail's wiggling.
Unless they have a version of it somewhere.
Oh, someone died.
Rest in peace.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, what's that?
I haven't seen that one.
What added a few objects, it
I
seems.
don't remember this. Do you?
You can't say stuff here.
Could have sworn this wasn't here.
Oh my
See when it
god.
was last updated.
I really like that we don't have name tags, so I have no idea who.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been updated. Let's see. No, it's not saying to update. It's not telling me the update time.
This is the floating piece of toast.
Oh no, it hasn't been updated for over a half a year. It is. I'm a slug right now.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a good choice. Like a show off a different version of embodiment. I mean, that's such a big part of this is whenever you go to a new world, besides the environment, just saying,
Oh my god.
is this me?
Giant
What am
head
I
over
now?
there.
Who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
Which really you can play off that quite a bit. What is this?
That's our god.
Oh,
We have to worship him. It's like
My gosh, it's terrifying.
every time you think he can get bigger, he gets bigger.
How big can he be?
At this point, it's just gonna be the skybox.
Joris or Medra, can I ask something?
of course.
I was wondering. I've been reading Maluk's book, and she had this thing about Second Life and erotic role playing. Are there erotic role players in NEOS, and do they use like nude avatars and such?
Oh yeah, the private, basically in public worlds, the rules are in NEOS is in public worlds you can't do things that would be considered lewd or like inappropriate in that regard. But there's probably pretty bustling sex stuff going on in NEOS, I think. I haven't get to witness personally. Well, I've seen some stuff. People have like avatars that can become erect or grow penises and other stuff. Be multi-sex. Pretty well done as far as structurally.
Interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely something that'll become a larger business as it always is. So yes.
Yeah, because the embodiment is really interesting when you're talking about erotic stuff. and what does your avatar represent, and in what way, and what does your physical body actually do? Does it get erect as well, or are you just standing there with your clothes on?
True. Well, there's also things just like you were talking about, stuff that deals with both reality, like virtual reality, and how your actual body is. There's aspects that you could probably attach to yourself to be able to stimulate. So you could probably set it up in such a way that there's what do you call it? Haptic feedback, like a certain type of haptic feedback.
Like a suit,
Yeah.
It's just eyes in the sky.
Nice.
It's also funny to have all these snails looking up.
At our DT.
At our DT, indeed, yeah. Okay, Medra, maybe we can briefly jump to the other world, the upside down world as well, and then call it a day.
Sure, whatever works. Let's see. I'll open it up here. And then, my controls. It does throw me off not having hands. or
spoon
forks or whatever.
I don't mind going back to the studio first.
I might have to.
Fine. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, het licht is ook heftig. Wow.
Oh, I also, when you talked about lighting yours, I added another world. It's not exciting as far as everything else besides the lighting. It looks really nice. So I added that so people could look at it sometime. Let's see. Upside down. There we are. I'll host it.
Who's shooting a bow and arrow?
Dave van het spel zo.
So make sure to be in walk for this one.
Yeah. I have to.
And as you can see on the right, that's all the different people that visited. Usually we have an average of 30 to 50 unique users come through with about 10 to 15 participating. Yep. So walk around a little bit.
Okay.
Yep, there we are. I think almost everyone's here. Still. Oh, some people already have jumped.
Yeah. And I can tell you, it really matters where you do this on desktop or in VR.
Yep, definitely. You can only get truly sick in VR.
I'm happy I'm sitting right now. It's so wrong.
I even do this in desktop mode.
You might be able to.
Can I turn on locomotion on desktop?
Mirna,
There
aren't
is,
you getting sick when you do this?
No, I'd like, well, no, actually not.
That's quite amazing.
So, Randy would know. Randy, what tools are you using to allow someone to be able to walk in desktop mode?
Do we need another avatar?
Well, it depends. If you don't have the locomotion controller in the there are like four things you need, but
so I think you can still fall though, which will be okay.
Who needed the locomotion stuff?
Me, know this.
Oh, let me fix
me
that
too.
for you.
I
Alright,
also
one
need
I can hear someone zooping from far away.
So we have. No, that's the wrong Jonas.
I died.
Because I could just duplicate them for my own.
Oh, okay.
We need that one. We need that one.
It's interesting
we
how
need-
taxing it can be for people that it's just like there's a limited amount.
That one.
It's almost like food that one can consume at a time in VR.
Yeah.
That one.
No, I think after this one, it's a nice arc, and I think there's a lot of diversity that we already shown, so that would be quite enough, I think.
Good.
Alright.
I think that it seems like everyone has a lot of ideas now, or like
Yeah, or at least different ways to look at space.
Oh, there we go. Good.
So we just jump off, right? We jump into
we'll
the.
just jump off. Jump into the abyss.
Well, there you
I'll
go.
watch over you.
Yep.
1 second, John.
Hello, everyone. Oh.
Need that. That. We need that.
They are.
There we go.
Okay, Mirna, so you can press the button here called Zoop.
Yeah, I have been here already yesterday with Medra, so I'll leave it to someone else.
Good. I'll just go this one then.
And then if you click on this, do you want me to respawn you to Beauty?
No, it's fine. It's
I
fine.
can respawn myself, right?
You can.
Alright, I'm gonna respawn.
So feel free to click on.
And be launched into space.
Yeah.
Oh, in het launcher.
Is de deur niet open?
Oh, good.
Oh, een deur.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that
door's open.
Oh, someone's already done this.
Yeah,
They solved it
didn't-
already, yeah.
Ooh,
That's
that's impressive.
Oh, there's a different.
hello.
Hey.
But this is actually a part I really like.
That was
so-
quick.
Oh god.
We're up. Who needs the stomach?
I'm stuck outside. There you go.
And that doorway is.
Yeah, I know how to equip the
You grab
phone.
it and then you just attach it. If
Oh,
you're in
there's a small
desktop,
one. Yeah.
and then this allows you to walk onto surfaces.
Oh boy. What is happening?
Okay.
I'm sideways.
Just in time for dinner.
Yeah, I'm just gonna close my eyes.
Oh, this is so trippy. I like it.
Make it stop.
Oh, I knew I would.
Oh. Oh, ik ben er. Iedereen valt eruit.
Do you want me to respawn you?
Dat was echt heftig.
We're really making victims here.
Yeah, for everyone. And then if you run into these,
What?
Hey, I made it.
This is really nice. I like this stuff.
But how? How is this possible?
but telling you which orientation is ground. Oh crap.
Hoe konden we dit ook alweer doen? Ah, there you go. Whoa.
Yeah, there's ways to tell.
But you can also
So-
walk against the wall, right?
Only if you hit a cube.
Oh, only the cube will work. Okay, I see.
The cube will orient you to which side you should be on.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
fall off the world well.
No, yeah, it'll shoot you into space.
That just happened. Yeah.
Oh no!
Ah, this is nice.
He's trying to grab on.
Oh fuck.
Someone already, I guess they already grabbed the hairbrush that's gone from this world.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Let me see.
that was a bad idea.
Bye. Oh God.
Trying to climb your way back down Atlantis. Atlantis. Atlas. I was trying to say Atlantean, but it's Atlas titanium.
Yeah, he thought he could carry the world, so yeah.
I'm back.
Oh.
Wait, where's the hairbrush?
Yeah, the hairbrush. Someone took it, I think, into space, and it's gone.
Too bad.
What world is this one? I think I might have it on me. What version is this one? This is.
So when you're in a wrong angle, how do you solve that?
I would suggest walking back towards inside here. Just follow me.
What do you mean?
Go into clip mode.
Oh, wait,
fly
I can
towards me.
teleport now like this.
I'm even upside down. I'm sideways.
Wait, I would go into fly mode and then run into one of these cubes until you're oriented back the correct way.
Okay.
This cube.
Not really.
Let's see if I jump into this cube. Nope. Jump into this one. There we are. It's that cube. But which one was it? I think it's the one above here. This cube. So you want to somehow get yourself to that one. There you are.
Yeah.
So daar word je misselijk van.
Here, yes. Jump to this cube. This cube here.
What? Yeah.
Run into it. Touch it.
Okay, not flying, right?
Walk mode? Yeah.
No, I shouldn't. Wait. There you go. Whoa!
Oh no!
Bye!
Bye!
Oh no!
Again.
Nice knowing you.
Oh.
So I found a gravity brush and it flew away with me when I used it and played the Seinfeld music.
Yeah, I think I have it. I think it's 63. I think I have one of those with me. Unfortunately, no. Here we are. If you put this near your head, it'll float you up. So I would suggest being underneath here. Oh crap! Oh no!
Well, there we went.
There we go. Oh no! Did we already lose the gravity brush again? It's dangerous. Oh no! What?
Yeah, you shouldn't do that there. Well, this nicely illustrates how you can easily mess up everything.
Yep. Very true.
So let's jump back to the studio.
Yeah.
There we are. Welcome back.
Yay!
Hey,
No more flying off.
So it's 5:15. My soundscape is to rain, actually. I don't know if it rains with you.
Nope. Sun shines.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it does.
Oh, that does here as well.
It's so nice when the real world kicks in at some point.
No, it doesn't rain here either.
Hey, so for me, the coming week, I spoke to Jason from the Meta Movie Project, and we'll see each other in the coming days, and then we'll make an appointment to have you experience the Meta Movie Project. And my best guess is that's going to happen in 2 to max 3 weeks. So we still have 2 to 3 weeks basically to do some experimentation of our own. And my question would be, but that's also for Stefan to address with the students, is start formulating your research questions and make little tests for yourself to explore these things.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can also work in pairs if you feel you have similar interests. That's perfectly fine. Can you still hear me? Because the rain is really loud.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, good.
Fine.
Okay, so my advice is to really formulate a few research questions that you can also test out with little experiments. And then I want to see if we can meet again next week, probably Wednesday, but let's stay on Discord and find another moment where we can all join again. Where you show your little tests also to the rest of us, and then I will also take 45 minutes to show my own world, and we can talk about then the archiving of research in a spatial sense next week, if that's okay. And then, so Medra, thank you so much for taking us on this
my
tour.
pleasure.
I'm like super happy that you're making so much
Can I get
time
the material?
for us.
There it is.
Hey guys, can we still have some focus, please?
Yeah,
I understand it's a playful world, but Medra, thank you so much for taking the time of taking us on a tour. And I would say basically now again it's your turn, and I mean you the students, designers, it's your turn to sort of come up with new ideas and spaces and get inspired by everything you've seen so far. And see if we think in little tests, because then later we can start thinking about how these little tests and ideas and sketches can come together in more meaningful and longer experiences. So don't immediately have this megalomaniac like super idea being, I need to build like 5 worlds now with 16 portals and all sorts of complicated scripting, but rather have little ingredients, and then later we can cook together a new type of experiential meal. So that would be my advice for the coming week.
Yeah, I think my tip for it would be is to think really small and think about what something is going to suggest to someone who visits this for the first time. Is it going to invite someone to explore more, or is it going to make someone think, okay, this is it?
Yeah.
And make that a starting point.
Absolutely. Are there any questions or thoughts or things that you want to share right now? Are you full, like in a sense of inspired, or do you feel like I'm getting, I don't know, like full in a bad way, that you don't have new ideas?
No, not in a bad way.
I have new ideas.
Yeah, so it's really helped to visit a few worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, especially help to talk about it.
Yes. Now, exactly, and I sort of hope there's somebody with a lot of noise in their room. So if you can mute.
Is it? I'll mute.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh, that helps. Indeed, and you need to practice also these conversations. And I ask you a lot of questions, but don't feel that there's a right answer. It's more about finding language to talk about experiences. So this is what we really need to practice, and we don't have to only practice that when I'm asking the question in a formal sense, but also practice it in between yourselves. So not only talk about what you like or don't like, or say, oh, then we can do this, but also if you have something or you visit somewhere, take the time to say, so what is it that you see, and what does it do with you, and how would it be interesting to use in a different way, and how can we deconstruct a little bit what we see here. So that.
Joris?
And that goes.
Joris, we can't hear you, Joris.
He froze as
He
well.
froze as well.
Yeah. Joris.
Hello.
No, he's back.
I had my little absence epilepsy moment. Also practice it a little bit with yourself and bring in also different perspectives. So you can say, let's look at the lighting, or let's look at how the space is organized, or let's look at how it invites to certain behavior, like Stefan was saying, or let's look how sound is used, or, and so these components, some worlds might be very boring, but make really, in an interesting way, make use of sound, for example. So without further trying to impose all sorts of worlds, I'm very curious what you come up with yourself and things that you find. Make sure you also archive that in this room. So it would be great to have, I don't know, think about how you, instead of like having random stuff, but maybe also have some inspirational sessions. Like you would make a mood board. Maybe you can think about making clusters of interesting NEOS examples around a certain theme or around a certain idea. But these are all suggestions that are also up to you and also to discuss with Stefan how to do this. But I certainly hope that next week we can continue this. And so if there's no further questions or comments, I'm going to disappear, but please stay as long as you like.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, we'll talk on Discord. And Medra, thanks again. And if there's anything you want to know or you want them to figure out, I know you made a list of like 50 questions in the sense of design questions, but maybe we can return with that. Or if you want to leave it here, it's up to you.
Oh, I can leave it here. If they work on any of them, that's fine. If not, that's okay too. It's just more of things that looking through that kind of helps me think of other ideas or consolidate concepts. Let's see right here. Yeah, and there's also a list of just like looking through those worlds. There's experiences that are not non-NEOS experiences. Some of them are also films or games or artists that I've used as references or are notable above. And then there's some creator jams down below that might be of use based on some things we were talking about before. And I brought in this because when you said raining, I thought I'd bring in Gearbell's weather machine, the one that's done by her and others.
Wait, did you make these notes in NEOS?
No, this is a text file, and then you can import text files directly into NEOS. So these are notes personally.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're comfortable leaving it here, maybe it helps them to also think about questions as a response to your questions or inspired by your questions. So that would be really helpful.
Yeah, no problem at all. I love to see what you all do.
Great. Okay, everybody, thank you so much, and I see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye-bye. Till next week.
Bye.
Een idee om nog even na te bespreken of willen we dat morgen doen?
Ik ga er ook vandoor.
Yes, is goed.
Yes.
Ik denk dat het inderdaad wel goed is om voor ons nog even te zitten om te kijken hoe we kunnen beginnen met jullie ruimtes te ontwerpen. Op een soort manier die anders is dan ik verzin plaatjes en ik stop het in een folder op mijn computer. Dus laten we daar van de week even op zetten. Ik gooi weer in de Discord wat momenten dat ik kan.
We zijn op school. Dus als je morgen kan.
Ja, om 1:30
Ik mag niet naar school op het moment.
Oh, dat is jammer.
Dus ik zit in quarantaine helaas.
Ja, dan hebben we nog in ieder geval een Discord gesprek misschien.
Ja, goed. Oké, zie ik jullie ook later.
Tot ziens. Bedankt voor je tijd.
Willen wij dan nu nog even napraten?
Ja, ik denk wel dat het handig is. Aangezien nu alles nog fresh in de mind zit.
Ja, precies. Ja, ik weet niet of ik zelf voel niet de behoefte om dit allemaal heel heftig na te spreken, maar wel een soort van, hoe gaan we de rest van de week even doen volgende week? Ik zelf vond dat idee van in duo's werken ook gewoon wel heel prettig. Dat we gewoon echt zeggen van, we gaan gewoon meerdere kleine projectjes doen. En in duo's, dan zit je ook niet constant een beetje met de vraag van, moet ik de rest erbij betrekken of moet ik dit?
Nee, want dan doe je het echt met één persoon. En dan kan je je eigen ideetje doen. Dat we dan aan een bepaalde dag nog gewoon allemaal samenkomen. En dat we dan gewoon per tweetal elkaars dingen gaan bekijken en ervaren.
Dat is natuurlijk geen permanent tweetal, maar gewoon dat er echt even meerdere dingen afkomen en elkaar feedback kunnen geven om ook samen te komen daarna.
Ja, goeie.
We staan al wel met 7 man.
Kan er één groepje van 3.
Doen we 1 brief.
Maar aangezien John 2-3 dagen per week er is dat natuurlijk gewoon een goede derde persoon voor een groep.
Ja, dat lijkt me wel handig.
Heeft iemand een voorkeur die met iemand anders wil? Niet zozeer vanwege de persoon natuurlijk, niet persoonlijke dingen, maar gewoon vanwege iemands skills, dat je denkt, hé, die heb ik nodig voor een idee dat ik heb.
Ik heb 2 personen waar ik naar zit te neigen als eerste te testen.
Ik weet niet wat voor idee iedereen al heeft.
Ja, ik heb best wel een duidelijk van hoe iedereen net feedback gaf op de wereld. Dan denk ik van, ik vind het of veel interessanter met jullie te gaan werken om gewoon omgevingen te bouwen die iemand heel erg aanspreken om te gaan ontdekken.
Ja, dat lijkt me ook heel leuk.
En dan inderdaad dat jij dan meer environment stuk kan doen en dat ik meer kan kijken van, kunnen we inderdaad mensen gekke avatars laten maken of zo. Hoe ga je dan die... Of met Joris en dat we gaan kijken of we het lichaam meer kunnen activeren binnen een ervaring.
Ja, laat maar weten wat je wilt. Ik heb op dit moment niet echt een voorkeur met wie ik wil werken. Ik moet zelf nog even nadenken over de ideeën überhaupt.
Ja,
dus dat bewaar ik voor morgen.
Ja, is goed.
Niet voor morgen te bespreken inderdaad ook. Maar even iedereen vanavond misschien nog als ze willen, want ik snap dat je vanavond misschien even klaar ermee bent.
Ja, ik zit al vanaf 10 uur les te volgen van die, dus...
Same, ja.
Ja, snap ik. Dan doen we dit morgen, dat is ook goed. Om 1:30 kunnen we het gewoon namelijk even bespreken.
Ja.
Yes, is goed.
Nou, tot morgen.
1:30.
Ja, dan ga ik nu afsluiten, want ik word al geroepen voor het eten.
Eet smakelijk.
Oké, doei allemaal jongens.
Tot morgen.
En de host alsjeblieft save the world. Zo, dat was hem. That was a lot. Cool. I really like it. Het vreet al in.
Het is wel perfecte timing, want ik ga zo koken en dan moet je eten.
Ja.
Ja. Bueno idea.
Bueno.